It was a Saturday morning like any other in our quiet suburban neighborhood nestled in the outskirts of Greenville. The sun was shining, birds chirped lazily, and my 5-year-old daughter, Lily, had just gotten dressed to go out and chalk on the sidewalk. Her favorite color was pink, and she wore it proudly: pink sneakers, pink bows, and her favorite unicorn shirt. She was full of energy and joy, always saying hello to our neighbors, even the difficult ones. But none of us could have imagined how fast that joy would be shattered. Lily asked me if she could draw chalk butterflies near our mailbox, just like she had the weekend before. I smiled and said yes, reminding her to stay within our yard's edge. Our property was clearly marked, and her sidewalk art was harmless fun. I headed inside to get her some juice, leaving her just a few feet away. What happened in the next 5 minutes still haunts me. Our neighbor, Karen Whitmore, president of the local homeowners association, had been a thorn in the side of many in the community. She was the kind of person who took pride in measuring grass with a ruler, handing out fines like candy, and sending lengthy emails about mailbox paint colors. But even with all her complaints and condescending lectures, I never imagined she was capable of violence. According to our neighbor across the street, who saw the entire event unfold, Karen stormed across the cul-de-sac toward Lily, yelling something about defacement of HOA property. My daughter, confused and scared, dropped her chalk and tried to explain that she was drawing butterflies just like last time, but Karen wouldn't hear it. She grabbed Lily by the arm, shaking her. Then, in a moment of rage, she struck her so hard that my child's tiny body hit the concrete and stopped moving. Sprinted out the front door the moment I heard the scream. I found Lily lying unconscious, bleeding from her head, with Karen standing over her wide-eyed, clutching her phone as if she were the victim. I don't remember what I said, but I know I roared at her with a fury I didn't know I had. I scooped Lily up and ran for the car, my hands trembling, heart pounding. I called 911 on the way to the hospital, trying to focus while the sounds of my child gasping echoed through the car. At Greenville Medical Center. Lily was rushed into emergency surgery. The diagnosis: traumatic brain injury, fractured skull, and swelling that could be fatal. The words hit me like knives. The world blurred. My baby girl was in a coma, fighting for her life, because of a woman obsessed with power and appearances. The officers who took my statement at the hospital were polite but hesitant, unsure of what charges could even apply. It's a complicated situation, one said. HOA disputes can get messy, but this wasn't a dispute. This was a felony assault on a child. I sat there, blood still on my shirt, trying to process the irony. Karen didn't know who I was not. Really, to her, I was just another parent, just another homeowner to push around. She had no idea that I was district attorney for Greenville County. And the moment my daughter was stable, I made it my personal mission to see Karen brought to justice. 2 days later, Lily remained unconscious, hooked up to machines that beeped rhythmically in the silence. My wife hadn't left her side. I stood in my office, staring out the window, fury boiling in my chest. I signed the warrant myself. Karen was arrested in front of her freshly trimmed hedges, still clutching a folder of HOA citations like some kind of shield. The moment she saw the badges, her confidence cracked. She started yelling that it was just a misunderstanding. She was trying to maintain order, that she didn't mean to hurt Lily. But her excuses meant nothing now. There were witnesses, hospital reports, and even doorbell cam footage from our neighbor's house. The charges were brutal, aggravated assault on a minor, child endangerment, and attempted manslaughter. The look on Karen's face when she finally realized who I was: a father, yes, but also the was pure disbelief. She had played tyrant in our neighborhood for so long, protected by her titles and committees. But her reign ended that day. In handcuffs? The case moved quickly. I recused myself officially, but made sure my best prosecutor took lead. I gave them everything: evidence, interviews, impact statements. The courtroom was packed the day of the arraignment. Local news crews were outside. Parents whispered in the halls. I wasn't just fighting for my daughter, I was fighting for every family that had been bullied into silence. Karen's attorney argued she was under stress, that the act wasn't premeditated, that she lost control momentarily, but no stress justifies striking a child. No HOA rulebook overrules human decency. The jury agreed. After only 3 hours of deliberation, they found her guilty on all counts. Karen was sentenced to 18 years in state prison with no chance of parole for the first 12. She left the courtroom in tears. While I returned to the hospital where Lily, after for agonizing weeks, had finally opened her eyes. Her recovery will be long and uncertain. Doctors say she may need therapy for years and could suffer from seizures or developmental delays, but she's alive. She smiled when she saw her unicorn plushie, and for now, that's enough. One day she'll understand what happened and when. She does. I'll tell her the truth, not just about the danger she faced, but about the strength she showed and the justice we pursued. I still walk past that sidewalk sometimes. The chalk stains are gone, washed away by time and weather. But I remember the butterflies. I remember the innocence that was almost taken. And I remember that even in the face of cruelty, truth and accountability still matter. Because sometimes monsters wear polos and carry clipboards. But even monsters can't hide from justice forever.